Hey guys, Kid here of Burn 1 with another, I guess, deck tech video, but it's going to be a little bit different here. We're going over the 8-bar Princess Connect deck that I've been playing recently. So I'm going to go into the deck itself, and then I'm going to talk about why I picked up this deck, and I think it's a lot of fun. So we'll just go ahead and get started with the level 0 game. Obviously, we're playing for clean cuts. It's a great plusing 0, and it's overstatted 3,500, so it can beat most things at 0. Next, we have this level 0 support. That's actually one of the more interesting parts of Princess Connect and lets you do some interesting plays. So the first effect is nothing great, which is 500 power in front, which is okay. It's the secondary effect that makes this card really interesting and fun to play with. Its effect is that when one of your other, I think it's Lando Soul characters goes from field to waiting room, and this character is specifically in the back row, you could pay one and kill this character to bring the character that went to waiting room back with 3,000 power till the end of turn. So you can make plays with your level 1 combo, with your clean cut and stuff like that, depending on how you use level 0, which I think it makes it for like a really interesting gameplay, at least for this deck, because it's something that's pretty unique for the most part. There's not a lot of effects where you sack the back row to bring a card back with more power for that turn, so you can make big plays, or if your opponent plays like a really huge 2-2 and you're like 7k or whatever gives it 3k for the turn, it just like you can get enough power to get over their big walls, which is like really interesting and really cool. It also sets up some like discussing in-game turns where you have to go for 2 turn kills, which is pretty funny as well. Next standard, we have the Brainstormer. It has another effect that's fairly new, experienced during your climax phase at the beginning of it. And you can choose one of your characters, give it 500 power times X, where X is the number of colors in your level slot. So generally, level 1, it's going to be plus 500, level 2 is going to be plus 1,000, level 3 is going to be plus 1,500. Just extra push. And then this is a pay 1 rest brainstorm. It's a search brainstorm. Oddly enough, search is like the most limited factor of this deck. We actually have more access to the waiting room than we do searching. So it kind of works out that this brainstorm is a search. Generally, though, salvaging brainstorms are usually better. Next, this is a free runner, which is really powerful, but the fact that it makes it really good is that it has a pay 1 drop, pay 1 discard 1, salvage a character from your waiting room, which makes it really good because we're playing it. This is an 8-bar deck, obviously, so sometimes we'll be in a position where we're flooded too many bars in our hand and everything. This is a really good out, as well as this lets us cycle cards back into our hand fairly easily, and it's also like a turn 1 plus, which is really good. It's just a solid card overall, and that's why we played it as 4. Next, I played 2 of this Carol. It's just basically when it hits waiting room, you can discard a card to top check 4 and add a level 1 or higher card to your hand. Generally, you just use this to mill out your deck more early on, as well as, you know, get rid of extra bars from your hand, or, you know, crash this in when you need to mill your deck right before a refresh. It's an okay card. This is kind of like a bit of a flex spot. I like it a little bit more because generally, like I said, you have a lot more access to your waiting room through the Ditch Salvager, and as well as the rookie we're going to go over pretty soon, as well as this next card here, which is generally only used for its on-play effect, which is discard a card or a climax from your hand to salvage a Lando Soul character from your waiting room. We're obviously playing bar, so there's situations where we're just going to keep getting climaxes to our hand, so this is a good discard outlet, as well as the first effect is you can top check 2 on play and then rearrange it. This is really good. You could set up like a clean bar trigger if you see that, or just know your next 2 triggers, which is really, really good. Or you can even set up situations in game where you play this top check 2 and say you need 4 to kill your opponent. You put a level 3 underneath and put whatever on top, and slam a climax with your Musashi. They cancel, then you mill level 3, so you burn them for 4, and you end the game that way. It has like some cool techie moments like that, but I mean, generally we just kind of use it for the ditch climax out. Finally, at level 0 is another powerful card here. It's basically the Ricky of the set. Unlike other Rickies, this is an on-play pay 1, then you top check the 3 cards of your deck, and you can choose 1 card among them and put it into your cock, and then put the rest into the waiting room. And then if you do, you can salvage a Lando Lost character from your waiting room to your hand. Like I said, we have a lot of access to waiting room through this. And then the secondary effect, which is pretty powerful, is that when your opponent plays a climax, you can send this from field to your stock. So it like replenishes the stock that it will not waste it, but use to be able to get the character back from your hand. Level one's pretty simple. The game plan generally here is we're gonna mill out the deck and just build up hand size because we're looking to slam a gold bar almost every turn if possible. This deck is very aggressive. So our climax combo of choice obviously is the gold bar combo level 1 here. It's very simple but really powerful at the same time. So if you have the correct gold bar, when this attacks, if you have 2 or more other Lando Soul characters, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose one character among Lando Soul character among them, add it to your hand, discard the rest, and then give a character for that turn 1000 power. What makes this so powerful is that in combination with all the power bumps you get and stuff like that, you can get a character like over 10k power to kill early play 2/2s against standby decks and stuff like that. And you can kill other lanes fairly easily, and your level 1 combo gets really big. And on top of that, it doesn't require reverse or anything like that. It just requires you to have a board. So if that's the case, it makes it so that even if your opponent's board is too big to handle, this can still like give you hand advantage through a combo, which is really good. And this also obviously incentivizes more to slam the climax when you have it. Next, we play 2 of this power pump level 1. So this is on play. You give one of your Lando Soul characters 1500 power for the turn. Generally, we're combining it with these 2 so we can get it to really huge levels if need be. And the secondary effect, it's a cost 0 clock bomb or a clock suicide, or whatever term you want to use. So it's just a very solid pumper, plus also can get rid of annoying cost 0s on the board. Generally, we just use this for the power pump. We use it sometimes later in the game as well, depending if we need the power to get over something. But like this is kind of a filler level 1 here, as well as this final level 1 here, which is also another power pump. It's on attack, give X power to Lando Soul character, where X is the number of other Lando Soul characters in play. So generally it's on attack, give 2k power, but the first effect, or the secondary effect, is what we use it mostly for. It gives all your characters when they attack, if they trigger a climax, you can discard a climax to salvage a Lando Soul character. So in situations where we know there's a lot of climaxes left in our deck, and our deck is pretty small, this is a really solid out to that situation where you just play this, swing with it first, trigger climaxes along the way, and then you can at least ditch the gold bars before you refresh. Generally, that's how I use to play this card. Otherwise, like early on in the deck or on a fresh refresh, you don't really mind getting a gold bar or 2 to your hand because you, like I said, you do like to slam the gold bar when you have the opportunity to. Next, we have the level 2 here. This is kind of like our support of choice here, because it's a pretty solid choice because we're playing 8 gold bar. So the first effect, which is really good, is whenever you play a climax period, it doesn't matter what climax it is, you can give a character 4000 power till the end of your opponent's turn. So you can do silly things like make your level 1 9k on defense, or even your early play level 3, it gets so big that it's really hard for people to contest it without like using a counter or something to just remove it from play. The next effect is obviously really powerful because we're playing 8 gold bars. It's whenever a character triggers a climax, you can ditch a climax from your hand to salvage a character. Obviously, 8 gold bar, turning all your gold bars basically into salvage triggers is always good. So obviously, it's a really powerful card. You generally want to have this out early, as soon as possible at level 2, honestly, because being able to build up somewhat of a wall, keeping some of your field alive and opening up lanes is really powerful, especially when you get into the later part of the game. Finally, we play a 2/1 3k counter. It's whenever you use it, and versus a battle opponent, you can send it to memory. Right now, this is part of the meta. You just need this card to be able to beat DC. I haven't played against DC a lot, only a couple times, but from my understanding, basically is that if you can remove one of their characters from the board during the battle phase, they can't combo off and kill you because their combo is very, very powerful. So obviously, you're forced into like teching a memory or something like that to get rid of a character off the board against that matchup. Finally, the level 3 lineup here is super solid. We'll start here first. This is the early play level 3. Like I said earlier, we are looking to mill our deck out before level 2 generally, or right at level 2, because we have early play that's 2 or less climaxes. It gets -1 level in hand. It gets early play, it's straight up heal, and it gets 1000 power for each of your back rows. Other character back rows. Yeah, so it becomes... Is that right? 11 to 5? Is this translated incorrectly? I think it's plus 500. I'd have to double check. So it's a fairly hefty character on top of the fact that generally you have the 2/1 support out, so you can buff it really big. Like I said, unless they have a counter that's going to get over power wise, or it's gets removed by counter effect or something like that, or early play remover, this is going to stay around. And obviously, since we're playing a much more aggressive deck because we're playing 8 gold bar, every extra turn counts in squeezing out stuff. So like being able to slam some early plays and stuff and heal down is always really solid. So we'll get into the finishers here at level 3. Generally, your game plan here is between these two here. So this is the first, this is a supplementary level 3. You generally combo this level 3 with the green one. So this is basically a Musashi, but what's really nice about this is if you have 4 more other Land of Soul characters, this gains 5,000 power for the turn, and during the battle your opponent can't play events or backups from hand. So this makes it so they can't like anti-damage you if you put all your combo effects onto this, which is really powerful, on top of it being Musashi, which combos very well with your other level 3 in game plan. So generally you want one of these on the board, and then you want 2 of this, which is, this has, when it comes into play, you can discard a card and heal the stock, which is really strong. It makes it so that the cost for this ability is a little less hefty, so it's easier to just pull off. I think you only need like 11 stock total, I want to say. Or sorry, 7 stock total, I want to say, going into the turn to be able to slam 2 of these and a Musashi to combo off. But the combo it is, whenever you play the Gold Bar Climax, you choose one of your Land of Soul characters, and as long as this level 3 is in the front row, and you give it the effect that when this card attacks, if it you can pay 2. If you do, your opponent takes 2 damage. So the whole point is you get to put 2 stacks of that on top of the Musashi. You swing with it, then pay 2, burn 2. If they take it, you pay 2, burn 2 again. Oh, that one canceled. Then you do the Musashi effect to burn, or X is the number of level of the card you milled, and then you get the swing as well, which makes it a very potent killer. It's like if your opponent's at mid 3s or something, it's really hard to live if you're able to double combo and then Musashi. It's just really hard to live through that because of the amount of damage going through, because you got 3 attacks plus 2 more burns plus a potential another burn if they cancel one of those 2 burns, which is pretty good. So it's just like 5 to 6 attacks in one turn essentially. It makes it really powerful finisher, especially like I said if they're in the mid 3s. Finally, we have a Tecton one of here. So this is basically our stock swap. It's a level 3 stock swap. On play you can pay 1 and then your opponent stock swaps. And then it has a secondary effect that almost never gets used. You can pay 1, place 1 card from your hand to wait room. When this card attacks, you give it 2,500 in extra soul. If you need that extra soul to side attack or something like that, you know, you can make some interesting plays where your opponent's like, what's it called? Your opponent is at what 3? What is it? 3-4. So you have 2 of these, and then they're stacked on here, and they're at 3-4. You can swing with this first. Do the burn 2, see if it sticks. If it doesn't stick, do another burn 2, and then if that sticks, you can pay 1, ditch 1. Oh, sorry, I'm getting so confused here. If you want to set up like a side attack like that, because you have to declare the side attack first, but you can do the pay 1, ditch 1, and add an extra soul if need be to do a side attack or something weird like that if you'd like. Like I said, the secondary effect here like almost never gets used. Like I don't think I've ever used it since I've been playing this deck. And then obviously we have 8 gold bars here. So the reason I was like attracted to this deck for the most part is that one, I'm getting kind of tired of just playing like a standby plus X climax for the most part. There's a lot of really powerful standby decks going around right now, and I'm kind of tired of just playing that climax over and over again. So I wanted something different. I wanted something a little bit more aggressive and like egregious in the sense that I can just slam a climax every turn. So obviously the 8 gold bar lineup is going to be a lot of fun. I was considering playing gold bar plus pants for the Carol, or not Carol, what's her name? The little sorceress character, I forget her name right now. But that level 3, but I ended up going with the 8 gold bar just to test it out because I've seen it around and I know it's like a pretty solid deck overall. One of the big things that attracted me outside of the level 3 game looking like it'll be really fun for the finisher is that I think the level 0 game is actually like one of the stronger level 0 games. I don't think it's the best in the game right now, but I think This level 0 lineup plus this support here is really fun to play with, as well as, like I said, I think the level 0 lineup is pretty strong because you have a lot of plussing power at 0 here with the deck that you can play around with, which makes it really fun. Having a combination of this free runner plus clean cut means you can set up boards where your opponent has to have tri-field if they want to get 2 combos off at level 1, basically, as well as there's just multiple ways to set that up because of clean cut and things like that, or even because of the Ricky here. So like this deck very much incentivizes tri-field, as most 8 gold bar decks do, but by tri-fielding you do get some advantages because of it to like kind of mitigate your opponent's ability to plus a level 1, especially if they need to reverse. Alright, sorry about that. There was a train coming by and I had to restart the video here. But like I was saying here, what's really nice about the level 0 game is that if your opponent requires a reverse to do anything really, the level 0 lineup makes it so that they can generally only get 1 reverse, because you have the free runner plus in combination of the stock runner plus clean cut makes it so that you generally always have an open lane in the front row, while at the same time being able to tri-field at level 0, I mean, making it so that your free runner can move around wherever it pleases. Just to force awkward board states for your opponent where they can only get 1+ if their combo requires a reverse. The next big thing I was saying earlier, this level 0 support is really interesting for the set. It's probably part of the reason I actually like playing this, is that its secondary effect is really cool in the sense that if you trigger a gold bar for the level 1 combo during your level 1 and you have this in the back row, and this gets removed from, or this gets reversed defensively, you can sack this, bring this back for 8k, and then slam a gold bar. So it's almost like a pay 1 plus 2 in that sense, which is really cool. And the plus extra power makes it so that it becomes 8k plus gold bar is 9k, plus its own effect can make it 10k, which is really scary, along with like the other like support from the Brainstormer and stuff like that, or the power pumps. You can generally kill standby deck targets like the 2/2s and stuff if they don't have hand on core and stuff like that. It's like really easy way to remove those 2/2s from play, because you get so big fairly cheap basically, and you still get a plus. So even if they use a counter or something to save their character, you didn't really lose a lot. You gotta essentially go plus 2 kinda. I guess essentially it's not really plus 2, but it's just, this card just is really fun to play with. You can make weird plays too, where I've done sack this for the clean cut to bring the clean cut back with making it 5k, slam a climax, use this level 1 combo to buff it again and at 1000 power to clean cut back the level 1, so I can slam a gold bar next turn again to be able to combo once again. So you make a lot of really fun and cool plays like that. One suggestion about the deck though is that it does have some weird issues sometimes with paying out climaxes and stuff like that. So you want to hold on to things like these drop searcher or drop salvagers and things like that, just to be able to like burn through stock and stuff. One suggestion too is that you can cut one of these or something, or maybe even cut a Ricky if you feel like it. And play, there is a level 0 Carol that's like has shift, as well as on play you can pay 2 to free fresh. That's a pretty solid way to pay out climaxes if you need be. Generally, when I play the deck, I'm just kind of like, if the climax gets stuck, it gets stuck, and if I can't officially pay it out, I just forget about it and worry about it later. Because you do have a lot of tools to mill through the deck and like kind of like mitigate damage that way, as well as you're an aggressive deck anyway, so you're just looking to push damage and hopefully keep your opponent ahead in damage. That way when you hit your level 3 game, you're either like at 3-2 or something, so it makes it infinitely easier to end them with the gold bar combo at level 3. So yeah, this is the deck I've been playing for a little bit now. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. If you have access to Princess Connect, the set is actually fairly cheap for the most part, because I think so much of it's been open. The only really expensive pieces I think are like these 2 level 0s here, the Ricky plus the clean cut. Everything else is like fairly cheap. I think this deck is really cheap overall. So if you have access to these cards or are interested in Princess Connect, I recommend this deck to try it out. But from what I've seen, there's a lot of cool decks you can make through Princess Connect. I know there's a gold bar choice list going around. gold bar pants, and I think there is also, I think it's a gate choice or gold bar gate, I forget. But either way, like there's a lot of interesting builds you can go about through Princess Connect. But for myself, this is the deck I've been going with for now. It's been a lot of fun. I really suggest checking it out if you get the chance. I'll leave a link to it in the about info below the video if you want to get to the Encore decks list itself. Other than that, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Later.